Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Jones Dini. Finally decided to do my first video review. Shouts out to Clayton Head Heroes. You know, put me on to this. So we haven't done a review in a long time, so it's kind of appropriate that Animal Man was one of the last reviews I did. So today I'll be doing Animal Man number 11 by Jeff Lemire, Alberto Ponticelli, and inker Wayne Fauci. First off, this book has always had very talented, quite solid artists come along. You know, it started off with Travel Foreman, then Steve Pugh returned, and Ponticelli. He's an artist that if he's not in your wheelhouse, he's not your style. It could be a little offsetting for you, but I've loved this work ever since I first discovered it on Unknown Soldier. So this was a treat for me. I definitely enjoyed the art there. He does some very interesting things. Definitely some cool stuff with Socks, who I don't know if anyone else, but I always read his dialogue with the voice of Keith Irons in my head. Probably just a me thing. Really want to know what Monarch has to say about this cover. He's the cover and analyzer guy on the site, and I like it. Good composition, very dramatic, and it just has this very awesome, like, just written blurb on it. So Silver Age Kirby-esque, where it's, now it has his son, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm in on that. What's that rhino behind Buddy? Something about it really stands out nicely to me. As far as the writing goes, it's Lemire, it's gonna be solid throughout. Animal Man's one of those books where it's so solid month in to month out. I really don't have many new positive things to say about it, and like minor nitpicks at most. What I did really like is the beginning of the issue. There's a nice throwback to Morrison's run, where the extraterrestrials who give Buddy his power in that run of the book make an appearance in a different role within the Red currently. That was a nice throwback for continuity buffs, old readers like myself. And the thing that really makes this book stand out to me is the focus on the family. A lot of people say they feel like Buddy's not really the main character of his own book, and that's a legit criticism. But after reading Lemire's interviews, kind of highlights that this book is less so about Buddy and really more about Maxine, and to expand upon that, how these insane events are affecting this pretty average regular family. So it doesn't really bug me that there's less Buddy punching things. I just love the interaction between him and his kids, and there's one scene where in the Red where they're recreating Buddy's body, and it's just so wonderfully drawn as he's moving from one level of evolution and organism to another, and the details that occur and just the background. The way Ponticelli draws this sequence is, you can't read that, so I'm not spoiling anything, I guess. But little details he puts on the background work on those panels, definitely some good stuff. And Lemire's writing in these 2 pages here really highlights, him and his son's relationship, which is something we kind of seen lacking thus far in the story. I mean, it's always great family interaction, but we definitely see Buddy with Maxine more than we do with his son. And speaking of Cliff, that kid has the worst haircut in the history of haircuts, and I love that is stuck around. But Cliff actually is probably one of my favorite characters in this book. His dialogue is always humorous, and the stuff with him and Constantine in the last issue was just gold. Like, that is completely them. But it's a pretty dramatic issue overall. There's a lot of, like I said, there's always family interaction in this book, and just, I really feel for Ellen badly, because she's in over her head. She's gone through some crazy stuff with Buddy in the past, and this book is pretty much keeping more or less all of the prior continuity of the older stories. It's New 52. We don't really know what is, what isn't. I'm just, enjoying the ride as it goes. But it's nice to see that history's still there. You can just kind of see that she is really at her wits' end at this point. Some interesting stuff that happens in this issue is that you get a kind of a brief fight between Buddy and one of the agents of the Rock, the Hunters 3 that have taken over his body. It's not really much of a fight, so there's my one downside to that. But they've upgraded Buddy's shifting abilities in this book. I mean, he can still, draw from the life web, but now with, more visually interesting results. So when Pug returns, I would like to see where he goes with that, because Ponticelli really did take advantage of that this issue, and it really pays off. This issue, something happens to Cliff that sets up something very interesting to happen down the line. I don't know where Lemire's going with this, but it seems like, next month, we get the Swamp Thing link up, so that's going to be a cool crossover between the sister books. And it starts off here, which works because Swamp Thing's been moved to a second week book. So, yeah, I guess more on that. As any of you know, who've read my comments, talked to me personally, you know how I feel about events and crossovers and all of that. So for me, it's kind of like, no thank you. I just want to read the books I read and leave my stuff alone. But Animal Man and Swamp Thing have been dealing with the same story plot since day one, so it's really not an inconvenience, and I already read both. But if you do not read Swamp Thing, you really don't need to read Swamp Thing to enjoy what's going on related to it in Animal Man. I would suggest you do. It's a very worthwhile experience. But, looking forward to issue 12. All in all things considered, minor quibbles aside, the good about this book is still the good about this book. So, you know what you're getting here. And if you're not, well, what you're getting is very, very well crafted art, a lot of attention, very interesting panel layouts, great writing, exploration of family and the psyche of these characters, and an all-around great read, month in and month out. So if you haven't been reading Animal Man, grab the trade, go out there, read it, enjoy it, get on board, man. I'm Jones Dini, and this is Random Black Guy Comic Reviews. We'll come up with a name for this later. Shalom.